Dobre, ideme na to páni. 509. relaxačný tréningový deň. 509. Taký tvrdý pečival. Je štvrtok, to sú zibožltí. 15, 15, 14, 14, 13, 13, 12, 12, 11, 11. Predné, zadné, zadné, predné, predné, zadné, zadné, predné a predné, zadné. Začíname 20-13 a píče som o 20-13 jenom z prvých 15-15. Dobre. Schopné zvúčiť sa ani po 15-15. Takže prvých 15-15 je zelený páni. Prvých 15-15 zelený, skontrolujeme zvukovú stopu. Skontrolujeme zvuk, či sa točí. Máme tu nápojku. Máme tu aj nápojku, takže všetko odsýpa sa. Zatočí, ako sa má. Dobre, ideme na to páni, 509. Takže štvrtok, dneska si umýjem vlasy. Toto sedí. Ideme na to, pustíme Dora od nás.
Bakersfield, San Jose, Buffalo, New York, Toledo, Ohio, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Belfast, London, and a lot more. Go to jimmygore.com for a link for the cheapest tickets.
After Donald Trump backed down on his global tariffs, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that this was the plan all along.
Again, this was driven by the president's strategy. He and I had a long talk on Sunday, and this was his strategy all along. And that you might even say that he goaded China into a bad position. They responded. They have shown themselves to the world to be the bad actors, and we are willing to cooperate with our allies and with our trading partners who did not retaliate. It wasn't a hard message. Don't retaliate. Things will turn out well.
So what he's saying here is that this was Trump's strategy all along. He imposed these global tariffs, and then after countries around the world said, hey, let's negotiate, let's work out a better trade deal for the U.S., then Trump backed off the tariffs and mission accomplished. And the market is surging again. The losses are being reversed. And it's only China that stands out as being a bad actor because China announced a retaliation against the U.S. and now Trump is having a trade war with China. So according to Scott Bessent, this was the plan all along. Even though you had Trump and other people saying that we're not going to negotiate our tariffs. But now that he's walked that back, Trump is saying also that he's happy with how things are going. And look, the market is back up.
I don't know if it's still there. This was, I looked an hour ago, but we were up like close to 3,000 points. Nobody's ever seen a day like that. I think that's a record, isn't it, fellas? Definitely. Is that a record? Who would have thought we were going to have a record like that after watching? But because the geniuses of the world, they get it.
So Trump also saying there that, this all worked out great, and now the market is rebounding. We've had the best day ever. Now, of course, the market still hasn't reached the level that it was before Trump announced his tariff policies, but Trump is saying that things are on the up and up because he's forced everyone to come to the table. So that's the claim now, that this was a part of the strategy all along.
Well, I don't know what to think until Sam Harris weighs in. And, and then whatever he says, the opposite is the case. So he's like the Jim Cramer of intellectuals, Sam Harris. He gets everything wrong, and whatever he says, the opposite is true. Um, well, hopefully that's the case. I mean, again, I'll just reiterate that nobody else has a plan. Nobody else has done anything. And I hope if Trump's plan takes balls, that he has the balls to stick to it. And again, he's not running for reelection. I mean, I think people need to keep that in mind. He's not running for reelection, and so he's only got until the midterms to do this, to do whatever he wants to do. So if he wants to leave a permanent mark, he's got, just a little while, and he's got to get on it. So again, no other competing plans. The Democrats and Republicans have been complicit in the demise and the destruction of the working class in the United States. And this is the first time in my lifetime I've seen a president actually do something, try to do something about it. So I'm not as, my hair's not on fire over this, like other people.
Carolyn Levitt, the White House press secretary, she mocked the media because she said this was all part of the art of the deal.
Media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America not China because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business. And as the president has shown great courage, as the secretary has said, in choosing to retaliate against China even higher.
So that's the White House line. This is, the art of the deal. This is Trump's move. He said he would not negotiate these tariffs, but that was just a bluff to get people to beg him for a negotiation and to offer more favorable trade deals to the U.S., except for China, where the tariffs are remaining. But again, as we talked about earlier, not everyone is buying that, including a Trump supporter, Charlie Gasparino of Fox News, who said, again, it wasn't so much Trump pulling off some grand strategy here. It was Trump's Wall Street friends being very upset with him.
Call what happened overnight. And from what I understand, and I'm getting this from people that are talking to the White House, what happened in the bond market overnight, the spike in yields on the 30-year and the 10-year bond, which showed that people were dumping our bonds. And who were those people dumping our bonds? Japan, the biggest holder of bonds, was selling bonds. That's what I'm getting from some very big money managers. China, maybe to some extent, but it was largely Japan and others. If you have a mass sale of bonds, that means people are losing confidence in the U.S. economy, on the ability to do deals with us. And from what I understand, this is what forced the hand of this 90-day reprieve. Now, is it a good thing? Are people coming to the table? Yeah. But if you read between the lines, and not even what Scott Bessent said, we have no deals, right? There's nobody that is really there saying, this is what we're going to do. And they paused it anyway. So my thing said, well, I'll give you this. There is some art of the deal here. And by the way, brilliant move by putting China in the corner. But that's a whole separate thing. Because remember, that's a very difficult negotiation. Everybody else is a lot easier. They do want to deal with us. Whether they want to be, forced into really bad trade deals on their end is a whole other negotiating story. But make no mistake about it. You cannot divorce this decision right here from what happened last night, which was, and people focus on the stock market all the time. It's the bond market and the sort of lending markets that's the plumbing of the economy. And those markets were imploding last night. And that's why we have a 90-day freeze. Let's see if those markets improve. Someone told me we had a decent treasury auction today. But if you can't sell your treasuries, guys, and people are unloading your treasuries like Japan, which is, I believe, the largest foreign holder after...
Dobre, je to za nami?
To be clear,
Skončili
So
sme.
that's Charlie Gasparino of Fox News saying it was not, Trump changing the strategy. It was the bond market cratering. And that's what forced him to act. But Jimmy, to your point that Trump is trying something new here that could possibly bear fruit, even Roy O'Connor, Democratic member of Congress, he went on Fox News and he acknowledged that actually, if this turns out that Trump ends up winning favorable trade deals for American workers, then he will deserve credit. This is Will Connor.
We end up with better trade deals with many of these countries that are more advantageous to us.
Dobre, to za nami. Zrekapitulujeme segment. Takže štvrtok, 509. relaxačný tréningový je za nami. Bol 10.4.2025, skončili 2023. Pičo sa má rovnaký čas, segment trval 10 minút a 30 sekúnd.